John spoke to me probably a few months ago, and he told me what the theme would be here today, obviously focusing on data. And I was working on a few projects, and I thought it might be interesting to share one of the projects that I'm working on that's really relative to making an experience better, utilizing data and information a little bit better, and it's really under the search banner. It's really relative to search. It's not a quote-unquote competitive attempt to recreate search, but it's much like a lot of the things we see happening today. It's like the iPhone coming out again and somebody saying, well, what can you do now to make it better? You can always make things better. There's always a next version, added features. And so in this particular case, we were working on what could we do in the area of search relative to data to make it better in some instances. And I'll be careful as I say that because I just saw Sergey in the back. So we won't over push it, but we're certainly looking to make the search experience a little better. And with that being said, we have a few slides on what that looks like. We call it deep search, or we call it relationship search. And the real question is, do we really need another search? Of course not. We don't really need another search. But if something can be an added value, then we'll find a definite use for it. What if Sergey and Larry had said, do we need another search? Well, we wouldn't have what we have today, the great company that's Google. Should it be more than just keyword searching? And what about the old concept that goes all the way back to the days of Lycos with the 10 blue links? And what about relationships? So we kind of went over all these things in our brainstorming and our thinking, and we thought that we would expound on relationship search. And so that's what deep search is all about. It's about relationship beyond just the keywords. So in our example, if you were to put in the word cars in your normal query, it's not just about the word car, but it's about things that are related to it, the other interests, zip code, when you put it in because it affects the insurance rate, who's going to be driving the car, the price, the specs, the mileage, all these things, all these components and factors are the things that go along with your search around the word cars. If you're talking about homes, then you would be talking about the community. You'd be concerned about the schools, the financing, the location, the size of the school. And again, insurance becomes a factor. All these things are a consideration in relationship search. We'll skip over the travel right now just because we want to move along for the sake of timing. So let's say we were to do a query and we were looking under the 90210 zip code. So we would query that zip code, and what we would get back are the related contents, the schools in the area, the homes, the crime rate, the community, the shopping. I'm sure some of the ladies here and some of the men could relate to shopping in the 90210 area code down there on Rodeo Road. So we were to choose the homes in that area. We get back what looks like something like this. And by the way, again, design will be a key factor. We're early on. We're just giving a glance of something we're working on here. But obviously, I'm going to give the back interest code. I promised John that I would give access to a few, so I will. But we are still working on our design. But here, when you see the query come back, you see that we have the bedrooms, the bath, the square feet. We have the related data, the schools, the crime rate, the community, the shopping, all in one experience. If we were to choose the schools, it would come back something like this. It would tell you about the schools, but it also would tell you the API rating, the average parent's education, the full credentials of the teachers in the school system. So these things are, obviously very important to you. But also in the related content, you see truancy, the school directory, the SAT, the ACT scores. All these things are the information that are relative. So if we were to choose the truancy aspect and suspensions, we get back something that looks like this. The schools, the truancy rate, the expulsion and suspensions, and then the next side of it would be more related school data, and so forth and so on. So this is really what the relative search or related deep search is all about. It's about giving all of this information in one experience, and that's what we're working on, and we think it can be very helpful down the road. One of the other aspects, if you were to give, and of course, very popular symbol there, it would come back like this: the related content for that stock, the stock data, the related stock data, the related views, and the mutual fund ownership, which should be pretty interesting. So here's the related stock data. If we were to choose that, we could look at the last trade, today's change, the 52-week change, some of the basic things, but then the related data, we can see the mutual funds that have ownership and quote unquote, the trading and the company info. If we were to choose the mutual fund in ownership, it would come back something like this. There are all the mutual funds that are invested in Apple, the shares that they hold, the portfolio, the percentage of change, and the other relative companies in the space. So you can see with related search and a deep search, it brings back more information that might be pertinent to your interests, rather than the generalized search that we get returned right now. And that's what the Wire Do experience is all about. It's about deep search, one query, one related, more related information, and that's really what it's all about at the end of the day. Search once and see what's related. And that's Wire Do, and that's one of the data-related projects that I'm working on. Thank you.
I walk up. Oh, okay. Well, thank you, my man. Thank you very much.